How do you tame that monkey mind? So for those that don't know what the monkey mind is, that's old. I think in Buddhist scripture, as I grew up in the martial art world, it was ingrained in the system of martial arts the same, but it comes from Buddhist scripture of old Buddhist ways, that the monkey represents that inner wild side of you, your instincts. Think of a monkey. It's actually kind of like black and white in this case. Think of the monkey and the freedom of the monkey, right? The monkey does what it's going to do. If it's going to pee over there, it's going to pee over there. You know, if it's going to have relations, it's going to have relations. Mischievous, right? It could be violent, right? And the monkey represents the innermost, curious, most crazy side of human nature, or at least the natural side of Mother Earth, of this planet. So people always would always say, how do you tame? How do you control the monkey mind? How do you? You don't control the monkey mind. So what does that mean? That means that from my experiences, and my experiences only, so I'm just a messenger for my experiences. This was taught to me when I was young, and it's always stayed with me, and for whatever reason I feel led to speak about it. It's fun. It's one of the most it's one of the fun one of the more fun videos that I've done so far. You don't tame the monkey mind. You master the monkey mind first as a child, as a young adult. You become the monkey, right? Sow those wild oats, whatever that means. Mischievous, playful. You do things. You find yourself, doing things that you shouldn't be doing. Sometimes to this day, you don't even know why you did half of what you just did. You still go back, and all you can do is laugh. You laugh out loud. That's understanding the monkey within you. And then as you're older, and then what happens is that many people, as educators, as spiritual walkers, they start to control and they start to tame that monkey, and they get sick. And that I can prove. Well, I mean, I can't prove it to you, but I can speak from my perspective as an acupuncturist. I treat that. I've been treating people who have walked that path, and if they have ears to hear, and if they have perspective, and if the door is open, then I help them to change their perspective. Especially if they're walking with autoimmune pathology and a whole bunch of symptoms that people would be mind blown that there might be a connection to this. As far as your physical symptoms, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, is because they force themselves to tame that monkey mind. They force themselves to wear that mask. They force themselves somehow and indoctrinating themselves to say this is how a man is supposed to walk, and how a man is supposed to be around his children, around his family, around work. And I'm not saying that's bad. What I'm saying is that they've mastered the art of controlling the monkey mind. But that's hierarchical. That's not how nature works. So what's the prescription? You don't control the monkey mind. Once you get past the lesson of understanding the monkey within you, that inner beast, the untamed dragon, huh? You know what I'm talking about? Humorous way. You must be able to release it. You don't tame it. You walk alongside it. What you do is free the monkey. Allow the monkey to be who he or she is. But what you do is you create parameters. And your higher mind will create parameters as to where the monkey can be and where cannot be. I know it sounds mental, it sounds like, oh, that's easy. But there's code behind that. It's actually very physical medicine. No less physical than if you were going to take Chinese herbal decoction for me to help you to, to heal from cardiac related issues, as an example. It's medicine. It's graduating and understanding the mastery of your instincts. It's knowing that the monkey requires to be wild. because as we still exist in human form, you best believe that when you need that monkey to show up, life or death situation, or a ravishing party, and you just need to free yourself, and you need to release those older or those lower vibrational experiences that came to you as being human, and you're experiencing different vibrations in your mind. You can't just block it out and suppress it, because that's what's going to end up happening. You suppress it when you control something, right? And you think that you have it out of your system, and you think you became a master of it because you can teach it. That doesn't mean that you have it. It means that you suppressed it, you repressed it, and in its own time it will unwind. In its own time it will unravel. Oh, that monkey's going to do what it's going to do. So my way has been the martial arts. When I was younger, it was fighting. I've been fortunate. I don't know if I was fortunate. I don't want to call that fortune, but in my teens, and again, I'm just speaking from my experiences, is what I needed. I had a ravaging monkey mind. A lot of it was ancestral within my genetic predisposition. And I believe from both sides of my family, we have a lot of power in our lower extremities, our lower minds, our lower sensuality, sexuality. When I say sexuality, you have to understand what sexuality means intimately in its real meaning. It's that energy, that power is used to procreate, right? But it's also used to be creative, such as an artist. A high-powered artist is somebody who has mastered, they may not be conscious all the time, the power of their sexuality, sensuality, and they transmute it into love. You can transmute it into hate. You alchemize that energy, and when you don't know how to, it gets stuck down there in your lower realm. So a lot of people who are like ministers and priests, I treated some of them over the years, people who are working with more righteous authority, where they can't display publicly their lower loins and energy because they don't know what to do with it, because it goes against what what scripture has been teaching them. They don't know how to work with that energy. They don't know what to do with it. And so, as an example, so then it starts to build up, and then they have no choice but to, with the lower monkey mind. Basically, that's what I'm referring to, and also speaking of the monkey. You can't just cut out the lower mind. They start repressing their horrible thoughts and things that they want to do. I'm talking about men too, especially men. I can speak only on behalf of men, and in general, of course. Hopefully this relates to somebody. So then now they start thinking that there's something wrong with them, and they're definitely not going to tell anybody. And it's because they're not aware. They don't know how to work with that power. It's actually power. It's actual power. So, in my case, again, as I was trying to say before, that I was fortunate to have not only studied internal Kung Fu, but my teacher at the time, from 1989 to the early 90s, he had me he had me fighting people at Eastside Park in Patterson and sparring with them, and I was afraid. So for me, the monkey mind was my inner fears. For some people, it's the anger, the mask, the fears. Usually fear that's masked by anger. So if you see somebody who's like really thugged out in the street, in the hood, they're like really angry, it's because their inner child is hurt. Their inner child is hurt, and they're not gonna like show that to anybody. That's not manly, man. You know, that's like crazy, and they don't know how to work with that power, because fear is power, anger is power, love is power. These are energy frequencies, and we as humans forgot that we came here to experience it, to remember how to alchemize these energies, because to play symphony, whether it's physical music, or if it's in prophetic speaking, or if it's conversation or working, whatever your gifts are, it doesn't matter. It's whatever you put out. It starts to expand when you start to expand your lower mind from your higher mind, and it's like for me, it's no different than playing the lower keys of the piano and the higher keys. When you start understanding the symphony and the musicality of all these energy frequencies, that you don't favor, or I wouldn't favor, joy and anger and grief, or grief, excuse me, as one being superior than the other. But over the years of experiencing much joy, much sadness, much grief, much loss, much rage, then that's the wisdom. The inner wisdom is that now you can play. You understand how to play the symphony of these emotions. And hopefully you're a painter, right? An artist. you're a martial artist and you start to now color a new school of what you've been trained in from your teachers, your fathers, your mothers, your grandparents. As far as for me, my when I say grandparent teachers or father teachers, I'm using as an example the martial arts, the same thing, and not always bloodline. You know, bloodline the same, but I'm saying it's not limited to just the bloodline when I say your parents or your teachers, that you yourself have to be the parent. So if you read scripture, you know, you keep looking at your older brothers, and where are the damn sisters in scripture? You got to look for it yourself. I mean, there's no excuses. You have technology right in front of you. It's not hard to do anymore. And you have to be able to see the story behind what they were trying to teach, because they had wisdom of the future. So do you. And in order to go deeper for what I just said, you had to be a master of that monkey mind. And for me, again, it was fighting, it was sparring, it was releasing the energy, right? Not limited to that, but it could be hitting the gym. Wasn't meditation in the higher levels at that time. Yes, I was meditating and I was doing a lot of qigong, but I knew that meditation was going to ultimately be the key to my ascension process. I already knew it. I just couldn't put words behind it to be able to explain that to anybody, let alone myself. But I knew it, that I needed to find higher frequencies, and I knew that meditation and stillness and going deeper in my inner journey was necessary. However, I was honoring the uncontrollable monkey mind of being a young lad, failing miserably, setting fire to whatever the heck I was putting energy into, because I needed to get burned. I probably needed to, unfortunately, sadly, build up the karma to burn others, and then years later get burned even harder, because I needed to see that I was burning others from my experiences of things happening to me. I say this in past videos because as I started to understand the monkey mind within me, I started to understand how things are happening for me and not to me. It's natural for things to occur and for you to do things that make no sense in others. It's somebody who's very wise, such as myself. No, seriously though. Seriously. Somebody who is wise, you have to own it. Wisdom, walk with wisdom, so what? Such as myself. That's the way I just exercise my monkey mind. You like that one? It's a side that you've never seen on me on social media. It's a way to transmute it. Humor is another way. So the wisdom is to set parameters around that monkey mind, that if you understand the microcosm of what I just said, you become the blueprint of the macrocosm of the world around you, and you start to open up more portals, because you're the key. These are keys. What I just said is the key. There are doors all around this world. Like where I'm at right now, looking at the water, right? First time here at this location, there's remembrances that I wasn't aware of. I'm not talking about just past lives. There's remembrances. And allowing myself permission is a way of expanding, my outer landscape, because that's the hunger of my inner landscape, was to live how I feel. And for me, it's the woods. It's the trees, it's the mountains, is when I get a chance to the caves. That's how I quell these days the monkey mind. The monkey is free, so my parameters are a lot larger now, but I had to sacrifice a lot of things, like regular jobs, the way I was attached to money, the way I was living, and the people that I was around. It wasn't about the people, it was about honoring all of me. And lastly, as I was going back, I'm referring back to, is that once you understand the microcosm of you understanding how you create these parameters of how the monkey survives, now you know how Source created parameters for you to live, silly person. Don't worry. These are parameters for us to be able to live. Parameters of knowing that if you actually went to the jungle and you weren't in your higher self, yeah, you're gonna get mauled by a monkey, a real gorilla. You know, this is some stupid thing that's going on with 100 men trying to beat a gorilla. It's idiotic, because they're versions of us, And in your freeing self and in my freeing self, I'll go straight up to the Amazon, to the jungle. I'm not saying that I won't die and something won't happen, but understanding the fear mechanism of the language of how the jungle or the Amazon rainforest speaks is freeing the monkey for me, because I'll walk where there's venomous snakes, where there's tigers, and you don't see me well equipped with weapons or anything. If it's my time, it's my time. So understanding the monkey mind with me, with the fears, was freeing myself, not walking as a monkey, but knowing that I expanded my parameters, that when it was my time, I was able to, or am able to now go in places where I wouldn't have been able to do or go to if I didn't understand how to create an expansive parameter for the monkey mind in me, or to make it small and limited and tiny, but again, not controlling. So the monkey is reminding you in return that it's not the monkey that's trapped. The monkey's trying to remind you how to free yourself. And then you no longer need the parameters. The parameters will start to show the blueprint, because the parameters are actual code, are actual ways of understanding the map of traveling in this world. A way of opening up your inner cartology. Your inner cartography, the inner map within you. Not needing the outer technology, not that there's anything wrong with it, but if you're someone that has a gift or is expanding on your gift or your curiosity, that wherever you're led to was always divinely attuned, then what is there to fear? There is only freeing yourself, every day freeing yourself. And just like the monkey, stop thinking so hard. Just grab that damn banana and eat it. And don't discard it in the trash, discard it on the soil. Till next time.